So today I'm working on a commission. It is a piece on an 18 by 24 inch wood panel. So it's a fair size, and this is actually my second attempt at trying to complete this project. Yeah. So my first attempt, I actually went to the beach to complete it. It was a beautiful day, and I do quite a bit of my illustrations and drawings in plein air. Even though this was already like a planned out piece, like the draft was made, essentially I just had the idea to go and enjoy the beautiful day, enjoy the outdoors, and yeah, basically do most of the detailing out there. And yeah, it was going pretty well, and unintentionally and unknowingly, I ended up, just like I am right now, I have my arm resting on the board. I was doing the exact same thing there, and essentially not realizing that the oils from the sunscreen that I was wearing was leaching into the wood, and essentially it created like a stain mark on the corner of the wood panel. And I didn't notice right away, but while I was doing some filming and setting the camera up for different shots, I realized, after I would say maybe about 75% of the piece was finished, that I had that stain in that corner. So that was a little bit of a bummer to discover that. And yeah, I definitely tried to rub it off with water and stuff like that, and it seemed to work a little bit, but not enough. So yeah, it was mildly frustrating, to say the least, that situation happened. It's never a good feeling when a big mistake like that comes up, and especially with the original concept that I had for that piece, there was really no way of working around it or really fixing it. I had to completely change the concept. And if you look on the wall, that piece right there was actually that exact piece where the sunscreen stains occurred. So as you can see with that piece there, I ended up painting the bottom portion of the wood panel blue. So that was able to cover up the stains that occurred on the bottom corners of the wood panel. And so now nobody would ever know that that piece was ruined to begin with. So that was definitely a victory in that sense. Now, the only thing was that was not the concept or the idea of the piece that the client wanted. So that made us go back to the drawing board and start something new. So going back to the drawing board proved to be actually a pretty productive thing to do. What we ended up doing, myself and the client, is we started to change the concept up a little bit. So I was able to make the island a little bit larger, change the shape of it a little bit too, as well as work on a couple different options for the loons. And I think for the client's sake, we're coming out with an overall piece that's going to fit their space a lot better than the original concept did. And so in the end, even though those stains were, a bit of a careless mistake, one that definitely made me feel really sad and, well, disappointed, turned out to be kind of like a blessing in disguise. It ended up showing me a few little things that I'm kind of thankful for now. As I'm putting on the final touches of this piece, I can confidently say that I'm really happy with how this illustration turned out. And the crazy thing is that this illustration would have never happened if I didn't make that big mistake back at the beach the other day. Through that failure, I was able to open the doors to new opportunities. Not only were we able to create a new illustration that personally I think will suit the client a lot better, also I get another piece out of it that is equally as beautiful in its own way. And so all of these things kind of all come together in the end. Yeah, it was a bit detrimental, especially being at the beach, seeing those stains. I mean, you lose confidence at that point. You've put in so many hours of work. It's really hard to sometimes bounce back from those failures. With nearly a decade of drawing experience at this point, I can safely say that I've gone through my fair share of failures. It happens all the time, and it will continue to, all the way to the very end. And that's just the reality of life in general. But in order to become successful at anything, failure is just part of the equation. It's required. And it can be a tough pill to swallow, especially after hours and hours of dedication and hard work are put in. It's never an easy thing to deal with. However, over time, as long as we maintain that mindset of failures will equal success, well, we'll be able to bounce back a lot better and move forward with a lot more confidence. And so I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out with this piece, like I said. And I mean, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for a simple mistake. And so sometimes we just have to give it time, and we'll see what positivity can come out of it, as long as we're open and willing to embrace that difficult moment for what it is. All right, so here's the final piece. I really like how it turned out. It's got a really minimalistic feel with the stippling as the water. And I really like the white accents for the island and the loons. I think it turned out really good. I just hope my client enjoys it just as much as I do. But anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to drop a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe. I've got a lot more art and adventures coming your way. Cheers.